Hello, my name is Emma, and in today's video, I will teach you a trick on how to remember vocabulary. So English has the largest vocabulary out of any language. I think it's close to 600,000 words in English. So how are you going to remember so much vocabulary? Well, when I was in China, I created a little trick, and other people use this trick too, that really helped me to remember all the new words I was learning. So in this video, I will teach you this trick. So what you do, I have a bunch of interesting pictures on the board, is anytime you come up across a new word and you're learning a new word, you need to make a picture in your head of this word. A good idea is to try to think of other words that sound like this word and imagine funny situations in your mind. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me show you. The first word I am going to teach you today is bald. Bald. B-A-L-D. What does it mean to be bald? It means to have no hair. Okay, so if you have no hair, you are bald. How do you remember this word? Well, if you use my trick, you can imagine a word that sounds like bald. Maybe ball, basketball, soccer ball. So in your mind, I want you to imagine a ball. It can be a basketball, soccer ball, any type of ball. Now imagine the ball with a face. Imagine the ball with no hair on top, maybe a little hair on the side, a little hair here, but no hair on the top. Because ball and bald sound alike, if you imagine this picture for maybe 10 seconds, it will help you to remember it in the future. Okay, so think ball with no hair. Okay, let's try our second word, beard. What's a beard? It's the hair that comes off a man's chin. Usually women don't have beards, so it's the hair that comes down like this. How are we going to remember this word? Well, imagine a man with a beard, and inside the beard is a bird. A little bird, tweet, tweet. And what's it doing in the beard? Why, it's drinking beer. Okay, so this little picture is, I don't know if you can see that, but that is beer. So imagine a bird drinking beer. Those two words together, beer. So, this isn't beer, this one is. Imagine bird and beer. Together, if you put the words together, they make beard. A bird drinking beer in a beard. Can you say that fast? Bird drinking beer in a beard. So maybe if you picture this for 10 seconds, you will remember this word. Okay. Next word I want to teach you today, creamed. So what does it mean to be creamed? We creamed you guys. You guys got creamed. It means someone lost a game very badly. If our team creamed your basketball team lost, our team won. So you don't want to be creamed. If you get creamed, it's bad. It means you lost. You lose. So how can you remember this? Well, imagine someone, maybe somebody you don't like, somebody you play basketball against, or some sport. Imagine throwing a bunch of ice cream and it hits their face. Because the keyword cream, ice cream. So if you can imagine ice cream on someone's face, it will help you to remember the word creamed. So imagine that for 10 seconds. So think ice cream on face, creamed. Next one, hammered. What is a hammer? A hammer is, you put a nail in, boom, boom, boom. This is the hammer. What does it mean to be hammered? It means you drink too much alcohol. You drink too much beer, too much wine. So it's not good to be hammered. You're too drunk. If you're hammered, it's another word for very, very drunk. So how can you remember the word hammered? Well, I told you this is a hammer. Imagine someone drunk, maybe holding a beer in their hand and a hammer hitting their head. So that's a way to remember hammered. And again, maybe you have a word in your own language that sounds like one of these words. Any mental picture will do. I think the funnier the mental image, the easier it is to remember. But this will really help create an association. It will help you to remember the words. Finally, last one, condo. What is a condo? A condo is like an apartment building. So if you live in a house, that's not a condo, but it's an apartment building that people buy. It's similar to an apartment, but you own it. You don't pay rent. It's yours. It's your condo. So it's an apartment building or an apartment you own. That's a condo. How can you remember this word? Okay, I'm going to give you a second. Try to think of a word like condo, maybe in your own language. Maybe you know someone with the last name Khan. How can you remember this word? I'll tell you my trick. Condo sounds sort of like window. So a window is something you can see out of. I look out my window. So that can help me remember the do part, window. How do I remember Khan? Well, I have some friends whose last name is Khan. I have a friend whose last name is Khan. So I can imagine him looking at the window. Maybe if I don't know a Khan, I know of a person from history from long, long time ago named Genghis Khan. Although in different languages, the name is a little different. But he was from Mongolia, and he was a warrior who took over all of China, most of Asia, some of Europe, some of the Middle East. So a very famous warrior. His name was Genghis Khan. I can think, oh, Khan. And I can imagine Genghis Khan in a window, in a condo, with a sword. And if I imagine where he's living in a condo. So I think Khan, window, condo. So imagine this in your mind for 10 seconds. Close your eyes and just think, Genghis Khan, window, condo. Okay, so this trick works really well, especially using your own language and coming up with your own associations. Think of your friends' names. Do your friends' names have anything in common with this word? Maybe a famous person does. You can think historical figures. You can think other English words might help, or words from your own language. But I found this trick it worked incredibly for me. I know a lot more Chinese words as a result of this trick, and so I hope you try it. I also hope you come and visit our website at www.engvid.com to do more practice with examples like these. Until next time, take care.